out there to all my subscribers and my watchers. Hello to the review. We're going to take a look at all them pretty little comic books for the week of the 18th of February, 2015. I see all those comics out there, all those pretty little pictures, all those cute little characters that you all love so much. How much do you love them? How much do you love them? Because do you know for sure that they love you back? No! You don't know. Or whether they love you back or not. Or whether you love them or whether you hate them. I'm here to talk about some of them. And I'm going to enjoy it the only way I can, and that's being brutally honest about it. Find me! Yep, you guessed it. It's time for another review, and let's just go ahead and get to it. We got DC, we got Marvel, and we got Dynamite in here. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with DC, go to Dynamite, and with Marvel. Starting DC off with Batgirl, number 39. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, I said this, I tweeted it right after I read it, and I went, you're not going to believe this, but I actually did not hate this. Don't get me wrong, it was still wasn't really that great, but at least I didn't hate the book. Is there still plenty of things wrong with it? Absolutely. Still, probably the biggest glaring thing is Black Canary and how they're writing her character. You know, they did a nice tease there of teasing us, but still it pissed me off that they teased Dinah completely turning her back on Barbara when she really desperately needs a friend to help her out. And they teased Dinah completely ignoring her and turning her back on her. You know, when's the last time Dinah ever heard of the expression forgive and forget? But what I did like about this is that Dinah did indeed come back to Barbara, and they are now good friends again. I liked that. I did like that. The action here was decent. It was passable. But there were still so many things wrong with this book. I mean, the over-reliance of social media referencing in this series still instantly dates the product, instantly dates the series, and makes it an instantly dated product of the time, which means maybe 10, 15, 20 years from now, people are going to look back on this and go, what the hell are they talking about? You know, because social media, like all things that we experienced back in the day, is nothing more than a fad, because something's going to come along in the future and replace the relevance that social media has now. Or maybe it won't. Who the fuck knows? But with that being said, this wasn't god-awful. It still needs a lot of work. I didn't hate it, but I will say this. I liked the cliffhanger. I actually did. I thought to myself, they're finally doing some things right with this series. It just took them so damn long to start, but I'm also wondering, where are they going to go from here? You got my attention, DC, with this particular issue. Was it great? No. Was it good? Not really. I put it just barely above average and still needing a lot of work, which means I'm sticking true to my word. I promised myself I would give it till issue 40 to determine whether or not I stick with it. So I'm staying true to my word. Issue 40 needs, and I'm serious, this is no bullshitting, issue 40 needs to impress me. It needs to, or I'm done. Come on, DC. I know you can do it. I know you have it in you. Make issue 40 good. You can do it. Do not let me down, because if you do, you're losing sales from me when it comes to Batgirl. However, this was actually not bad, but could have been a fucking hell of a lot better. Still going to give it an average score, even though it is a little above average. I'll give it a 2.5. You tried. Moving on to Batman and Robin number 39. I really don't know where Tomasi and Gleason are going with this, to be honest. This was just okay. I mean, I kind of predicted where the storytelling was going to go once Robin came back with these new superpowers. Him and Batman are going to be at odds with each other. And, of course, Damian's going to totally take these powers for granted and over-rely on them like they're a drug. And instead of being smart about it and learning to use the powers only in an emergency use, he's overusing the fuck out of him. And I'm willing to bet it's going to come to a point where it's going to bite him in the ass. I know it's happening. And it's going to end up with Batman versus Robin. I know it's coming. I know it is. And another thing about Damian, once a dickhead, always a dickhead. I mean, he just came off like an arrogant little pissant, and I just wanted to smack him with his fucking attitude. So disrespectful. He's in the Justice League headquarters at the end of the issue, and he's in the presence of people like Superman and Shazam, and he's being an arrogant, disrespectful little prick. I'm going to go and say it. Fuck you, Damian Wayne. You came back from the dead. Don't you think it's time you fucking grew some fucking manners? But other than that, this was just okay. I didn't really care for the storytelling direction because I kind of see where it's going. So, like Batgirl, I'm just going to give it a 2.5. I was kind of let down by that. Moving on to Green Lantern New Guardians number 39. This is the end. This is Oblivion. Yeah. Why do I have the feeling that this series is gonna end like an episode of Dragon Ball Z, a bunch of powers and screaming and punching and a bunch of kind of shit? Why do I have that feeling? Why? Because that's how I'm thinking right now. This is starting to play out like an episode of Dragon Ball Z. You know, I've got more power than you. No, I got more power than you. No, I'm a part of you. You have to destroy me to beat me. I'm like, okay. Don't get me wrong, this wasn't bad. I thought it was actually pretty good. But it's like, I've seen storytelling like this before, and this is nothing original for me. You know, it's your classic fight your inner demon stuff, and it's just been done a lot. And when you see it happening again, it doesn't really wow you as much as they want you to be wowed. You know, this is how I honestly feel. But I did like the cliffhanger because it makes me want to read the next issue, because I'm genuinely curious on how they're going to end this series. I really am. This wasn't bad. It's just not original stuff, and I give it a 3. Alright, moving on to Sensation Comics featuring Wonder Woman, number 7. This was alright too. I thought this was pretty good. What I will say, the first story with Wonder Woman in space, that really didn't do much for me. But I tell you what, the second story was really impressive. I loved the second story. The second story involves a female soldier who's, you know, doing her services for our country over in you know where, and shit hits the fan, and she gets some assistance from Wonder Woman, or does she? We don't know. Did Wonder Woman actually come in to help her, or was she under stress and hallucinating and finding the strength inside her to win the day? I don't know. But I loved how they told this story. I loved how they wrapped it up. I loved how everything was advancing. Really makes this female soldier look so respectable. And I really loved it. I really loved how they went with it. This is really good stuff. It's a proof that you can have Wonder Woman in a comic without her being oversaturating the book. If you use her in the right way, it can really help sell the story. And I thought the second story in this book was a good example of that. This was good stuff. The artwork in here was fantastic. The writing for the first story was but the second story was fantastic. I definitely recommend this issue for the second story alone. This was good. I give this a 3.5. Alright, we're ending DC off with Wonder Woman number 39. This is the next part of the storyline with Diana having her struggles with being a member of the Justice League, Queen of the Amazons, and the God of War. And in here we get to see her struggle as the God of War, because now that she's the God of War, some of her bloodlust and her her lust for rage and rage battling, some of it's wakened up a little bit to the point where Superman has to step in and go, whoa, 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 back up a bit. You know, when Superman and Batman have to come in here and go, oh, whoa, whoa, you're crossing a line, that's saying something, especially when it comes to Diana, because we know she's a much more lethal fighter than Batman is. I truly believe that. At times. But this is really good stuff. She gets a vision from a very special someone. I'm not going to spoil who it was. But when she gets back to Themyscira, that's where shit hits the fan. Oh wow. I'm not going to ruin the cliffhanger for you. You got to check this book out for yourself. This was really good. I'm loving where the Finches are going with this. You know, Finch and Finch, making it work. This is good stuff. I give it a 4. Truly the best book from DC this week. Moving on to Dynamite. For Dynamite, we're starting off with Legendary Green Hornet number 1. Oh boy. First of all, I love that cover. I was really excited to read this, and this was actually really good. You got, you know, Green Hornet and Kato operating like they usually do, just in steampunk period. Then that's pretty much it. I mean, they pretty much act the exact same way. Unlike with Legendary Red Sonja, there were a few differences between that Sonja and the Sonja we love. There were, but still, that was good, and this was good too. But the main antagonist in this issue was not what I was expecting, and I liked where they were going with this. Referencing an old villain that hasn't been seen for a while, and he pops up at the end of the issue. Minor spoiler on that. But this was really good. If you're a fan of Green Hornet, I know for a fact you'll enjoy this read. Will you absolutely love it and think it's an instant classic? I don't know. You may have to come up with that kind of an opinion yourself. But I think you will at least enjoy reading this book. I really honestly believe you will. This is good stuff, and I'm on board for this. This is really good. I loved it, and I like where they're going with it. I give it a 4. Now, I was kind of timid to get this because it was so pricey. But when I got it, I realized, after I read it, this was my pick of the week, folks. Red Sonja, number 100. This was amazing. But then again, that's just my opinion. I'm sure there are a lot of fans out there who probably thought this was disappointing. Some loved it even more than I did. But man, you want to talk about a very respectful way to write Red Sonja. There are several different stories on here. You had stories from many different kinds of writers, including Gail Simone. But the artwork in these stories was amazing. Some better than others, I will say that. But there was some gorgeous artwork in here. Some great storytelling. We get to see a lighthearted Sonja. We get to see a respectful Sonja. We get to see a bloodlustful Sonja. We get to see every form of Red Sonja that we could possibly love, and then some. Really good stuff in here. Just really, really good stuff. I fucking loved this book. Now, I will say, the only thing that hurts it is the price. This is an $8 book, okay? I'm warning you, this is pricey, but in my opinion, It's worth it. I loved it. I had fun with it. I enjoyed it. Hell, as soon as I got done reading it, I fucking read it again. And I love doing that. That's when you know a book has truly captured you. When you finish reading it, you just gotta read it again. Almost immediately. That is what signifies a true gem in the comic book. This was awesome. I fucking loved it. 4.5. Moving on to Marvel. Starting Marvel off with All New Captain America #4. Rick Remender and Stuart Immonen. Yeah. Wow, you're really taking this character in all kinds of directions. You're wanting to sell Sam Wilson as a true deserver of the title of Captain America, and you're doing a good job with this. You really are. The stuff with Armadillo, though, kind of made me scratch my head. I'm like, okay, this is gonna go bad for Sam. It really is. But the rest of the storytelling was really well done. It really was. I liked it. I think this series it shows some promise. I really think it does. But like I said, the stuff with Armadillo just made me just go, wow, really? Okay. I hope Sam can fulfill his end of the bargain. I really hope he can, because, you know, he's dressed up like the ultimate Boy Scout. You would think he shouldn't lie to somebody, or he shouldn't go back on his word. So I'm hoping they continue to write the story well. No complaints. I'm not gonna ruin the rest of the book for you. I think they did a good job with this. I give it a 3.5. This is gonna hurt. Legendary Starlord #9. This is the next part. This is chapter 3 of the Black Vortex. Oh my God. This is easily the most disappointing book I got this week. This was astoundingly disappointing. Was it complete crap? No. But man, this hurts. Because when I first learned about the Black Vortex, I stupidly and naively thought that we were going to get a storyline in which the Guardians and the X-Men team up together to fight whoever the antagonists were going to be holding this Black Vortex. That's where I thought we were going to go. Nope. Marvel just couldn't help themselves. We got to get yet another fucking storyline in which we have good guys versus good guys because editorial jacks off to that shit. I don't know. Man, this really let me down. We're getting another story in which the X-Men are going to end up probably looking like the bad guys again. But then again, you have members of the X-Men and one of the Guardians under the influence of the Black Vortex, and surprise, surprise, it's made them arrogant dicks. It has. I'm going to spoil something real big. Beast, current Beast, Blue Hairy Beast, is one of the X-Men that gets influenced and submits to the Black Vortex, and it's made him a prick. An absolute prick. The rest of the story in this issue was but I just can't get over the fact we gotta have another storyline in which we have heroes versus heroes, but meanwhile the main antagonists of this particular storyline are kind of put on the back burner in this issue because it just seems like they don't fucking matter right now. Oh, this gives me a headache just thinking about it. Marvel, I'll give you credit on one thing. You suckered me in. You got me to order this, and now I gotta sit through this shit. Because I've done ordered it, and now I gotta experience it. Thank you, and fuck you. This would really let me down. I give it a 2. Moving on to Miles Morales, The Ultimate Spider-Man, #10. Oh, by the way, if you follow me on Twitter or on Tumblr, I sometimes give out the digital codes for free to these books. I just post them on there, and if you're lucky enough to get a hold of it and get a hold of a digital copy, then congratulations. If I'm not giving them out secretly, if I'm not trading them with friends, or if I'm not giving them to friends privately, I post the codes on my Twitter account or on my Tumblr account. So follow me on Twitter and Tumblr to look out for codes. But here we are at Miles Morales number 10. This was damn good. This was damn good. We start off with Miles and his father, Rick, with a full reconciliation, you know, and Jefferson is trying to get his son back into the school, and they said he can come back. But meanwhile, Miles has got to deal with the problem with Katie Bishop, his girlfriend. Remember, he told her, he confessed to her that he's Spider-Man, and she freaked. So he's trying to find a way to get a hold of her, get in touch with her, and talk to her about it. Meanwhile, he runs into a couple of familiar friends, and I'm not going to spoil that. And they tell him. One of them says, go talk to her. And the other one says, screw her. You know, it's split down the middle with their advice. But that's all I'm going to say, because I can't spoil the ending. I can't spoil that awesome cliffhanger. This was great. I really loved this book. This is amazing. I am itching to see the next issue. Damn it, this was good. I give it a 4. Moving on to Uncanny X-Men number 31. More like Uncanny Cop-Out. Man, this also was disappointing. Don't be fooled by that goddamn cover, because that doesn't fucking happen. But what I will say, you want to talk about a fucking cop-out. This was lame. This was fucking lame. One thing I do like about this title, though, is that it does have focus on young, fresh, new characters. Primarily Ava Bell. I am really grown to love this character. And the stuff that she does in here, to me, Ava Bell was the only good thing about this issue. But other than that, still, some of the stuff that she does and the things that happen in here just fucking reeked of cop-out. All of these characters are dead. Push the magic button. Push the easy button. Go to fucking Staples. Push the easy button and just bring them all back to life because of reasons. Because Bendis wants it that way. Man. And Bendis has been such a good writer for the X-Men. And this really let me down. And also, another thing that pisses me off is at the ending of the book, minor spoiler here, the ending of the book hints at or implies that Ava Bell may be leaving the title. And if that happens, where the fuck is she going to go? What other series is she going to end up in? I want to see more of this character. I want to see more of the young mutants that Scott Summers took in under his wing at the new Xavier School. I want to see these characters. I want to see more of them. Maybe they'll excuse me. Maybe they'll stick around and be trained by somebody else. I don't know. But if you're writing them off to push characters that are already at a legendary status, then that doesn't work for me. I've grown fond of these characters. I want to see more of them. Please, Bendis. Please, Marvel. Make that happen. Keep focusing on these young characters. They've earned it. This is good stuff. These are good characters. But this issue, it stinks. It literally stinks. I'm going to gag just smelling it. This was bad. I give it a 2. We're ending this review on a good note with Wolverines number 7. This was awesome. This is easily one of the best issues out of this series so far. This was good stuff. The main focus is on Mystique. And man, does Mystique shine in here. We get to see that Mystique is pulling some strings here. She makes a deal that completely favors her because she has a way of manipulating people. And goddamn, I loved how it was written in here. We also learned of Mystique's personal side mission. And it was heavy on drama and emotional character development. And I love where they're going with it. I'm usually not always for character resurrection. But I'm making an exception here. I'm actually hoping they go there with this, because they're focusing on a particular part of Mystique that some people may not actually know about. And I dare not ruin it for you guys. This was really good. This was really good. I love where they're going with this. At least this particular issue. But this is a weekly series, so keep that in mind. Sometimes weekly series can be messed up a little bit. But if you continue to write it like this, then I'm sticking with it. This was awesome. I loved it. I give it a 4. I thought it was that good. But then again, it's just my opinion. Thanks everybody for watching. Please subscribe to this channel, Blugoblin01. Don't forget Blugoblin X, where I do Midtown Comic Stashes, or where I do smaller reviews, or where me and my friend Norman do wrestling reviews, where our next review is going to be for WWE Fastlane. Don't forget, follow me on Twitter at Blugoblin01. Look for me on Tumblr, just Blugoblin. Jennifer and I, we're doing Arkham Asylum Studio. We got to find some stuff to do about that. I promise you, we are looking for something to do. But Arkham Asylum Studio, like Blugoblin X, doesn't have any set scheduling. When the video's done, trust me, you'll know. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Don't forget to give some love to my best friends out there, Chris, TheMtVernonKid, Deadpoolzilla, Brandon Hex. Thanks again for watching, everybody. I am Groot, and I'll see you later.